Welcome and welcome back. In this video, we want to talk about cues, specifically external cues. Or, Roger, should we use external cues? Surprise! You're on camera.
Oh, hey. Yes, we should use external cues. The idea we were discussing before the camera started rolling and we put our pants on was do external cues, are they the be-all end-all? There's an idea going around in the fitness community that external cues are the absolute, they're the best, always use them, everything else is garbage. External cues are very useful, but they don't always, they're not always the right call. There are a lot of times when other types of cues are appropriate. And we'll get into that a little bit. We're not going to get exhaustive into cues, but briefly, what's an external cue?
Yeah, that's what was my first question. I was like, let's sum up what an external cue is.
So external cues are cues that use the space around you, ideally. There's a reference point outside of the body. So a simple way might be if you think someone is a little too squatty in a swing, you might say, try to bump the wall behind you with your butt.
Got it.
If I think that your knee's caving in on a squat, I might say, press into my hand. So my hand is something that's external, that's external to your body.
Oh, wait, zip up the zipper?
Zip up your zipper.
We did cover this, so you can check out that
video. We did, but yes, that would be an example of an external cue that I think is bad. Probably 100% of the time.
95% of the time, it's 100% of the time.
But that is an external cue. An internal cue is going to be something that's a little more traditional. Brace, tighten this, squeeze that.
Like drive with your legs or something like that, or is that more an external cue there?
Well, I guess both. What's the reference point?
Okay.
Drive. Where are you driving with your legs?
That's true. I guess
you're driving
to the floor, then it's an external cue. Exactly. Then, right? Okay, gotcha.
So the idea, and this is very simplified. There is a body of research out there. The problem with some of the research is it focuses just on the one element, whether it's internal or external, but all of the cues that we're given do not all follow the same pattern. Some of them give you like specific directions. Jump as high as you can and touch the ceiling. Well, jump as high as you can and touch the ceiling, it's actually two different cues.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what we're focusing on is external and internal, specific to kettlebells. And there are some cues like zip up your zipper. Another one that I actually think is a good cue is for the snatch. Think about throwing the kettlebell over your shoulder.
Right. Oh, that's a nice one.
So it is, but it's not a good cue for a beginner because when you're thinking about throwing the kettlebell over your shoulder, what do you use to throw things?
Your arm.
You're using your arm. And when you teach a beginner to throw a kettlebell over the shoulder, you're getting an arm pull, you're getting a back pull. The focus, even though it's an external cue, your focus is on the bell, okay? And one thing that we're really big on with our own clients, with working with our coaches and our students is the body has to come first. You have to think about how the body moves. When you move the body well, the kettlebell will respond the way you want it to. So if I'm working with Jeremiah, who's a seasoned kettlebeller, seasoned coach, and he has his legs down, I know he's working through his legs, his pull is solid, maybe it's just not as tight as I'd like it to be, I might say, hey, throw the kettlebell over your shoulder. Suddenly his arc is super tight, and I like what has happened with the snatch. However, if there's someone newer, you're going to cause problems. So in that scenario, that might be an external cue. Throw it over your shoulder, try to hit the wall behind you.
Right.
I heard one with a clean is bring the elbow straight back. Someone was cleaning a little high. And even though the wall made the cue external, the desired outcome was not met. The person's form degraded. There was more arm pull. And then when this particular guy got fatigued, there's a lot of back. So external cues are cool, and what I like about them is rather than giving someone a reference point that's internal, right? You have to remember, if I'm asking you to tighten your core, which should happen automatically anyway, if it works, the odds are you don't have the desired ability or desired ability to activate it.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm telling you to do something, you probably don't know how to do it.
Got it.
And cues in general are about a a collective experience. So if, let's say, Jeremiah is my client and we've worked together. You know, I started him out. He was a regular guy with an office job. He couldn't activate anything. And we've gone through several months of work together. And we might say, you know, when I say tighten your core, he knows exactly what I mean. Okay, that might be an internal cue, but we've built in all of this background where it's much faster than trying to do something externally.
Like to be like, press into my hand.
Press into my hand. You know, we don't need to do that. All I need to do is say core, and everything happens exactly the way we want it to. So external cues are awesome. They tend to teach the body what you want it to do, and you're speaking in a sense rather than using words or an internal frame of reference. You're using something that's easier for most people to understand. It's the outside world. However, the main point of this is if your external cue focuses you on the kettlebell as opposed to your body, I don't think these are good cues most of the time. It really depends on where you are in your process, you know, on the whole journey. Your cues should first and foremost get you to move your body well. But if you haven't done all of the work and gotten those necessary skills, then create an external focus on the kettlebell is probably going to be a bad thing.
Yeah, it could degrade your technique a bunch.
Absolutely,
you know.
Absolutely. So, you know, we need to have the prerequisites down first, and you know, then the external cues can work. Again, they're awesome. They can really be effective, and I generally use them and prefer them when working with beginners because it keeps someone in a familiar world and helps them move in a way that they're more familiar with. You know, because when people come in, they're beginners, they usually don't have a great awareness of their body. So saying, hey, do this with your body, it's like, you know, telling me to tap dance. I can't tap dance.
Damn, I'd love to see that.
And you yelling at me, tap dance. Tap dance
faster and harder.
You know, like the core thing, you know,
Yeah.
the trainer. You're like, people don't know what their core is, where it is, and tighten your core. Like, it doesn't work.
Is my core in here?
So, external cues, good. Are they 100% of the time? Absolutely not. Sometimes they're slower, and sometimes they will actually cause the wrong thing to happen. So get out of the whole, you know, this is that. You know, when you train, only do this, only do that. It just doesn't work. Get out of that way of thinking because you are going to be wrong sometimes, and sometimes you're going to be very wrong.
Yeah. Hey, get to know your body. Start there. That'll get you where you got to go, and get to know it in a nice, appropriate way. Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I don't think so either. Stay strong, everybody.
Go get to know my body.